Welcome to Cooking with the Seasons. In this video series, we will cover a broad range of topics related to healthy cooking and preparation of all the beautiful produce you'll find in your CSA box.
The key purpose of this class is to help you make the most of the produce you receive in your weekly box. We will learn ways to prepare snacks, sides, and meals that taste good, contain less sugar and salt, and use as little of your time and money as possible. For produce you can't use right away, we will present ways to preserve food for later use.
Hi and welcome. My name is Mercy Kariuki-McGee and I am from Shiro's Plate and I'll be cooking with you today. In today's class, we'll be discussing storing produce so that it lasts as long as possible. How and where you store your produce can affect how long it will stay fresh. When food is wasted because it spoils, we often feel bad for wasting money and food. Produce falls under two categories: gas releasing and gas sensitive. Some release gas, which help them ripen, but this gas can cause the gas sensitive to ripen too quickly, causing rot and spoilage. To slow the ripening, you want to keep these foods separate. Most of us were taught which foods to store in the fridge, which to keep on the counter, and which should go in a cool, dark place. This knowledge passed down from generation to next is based on keeping these two categories of food separate. A majority of the foods you find in your produce box should be stored in the fridge, in a bag to keep them from drying out. Storage vegetables like onions, garlic, potatoes, and winter squash should be kept in cool, dark place. Unripe fruit can be left on the counter until ready to eat. Some goes for tomatoes, as they are technically a fruit. Storing them in the fridge can cause them to become mealy. For root vegetables that have green leafy tops like beets, carrots, or turnips, remove the greens from the root. Leaving them on will cause the moisture to be pulled from the root. Fresh herbs will often be a part of your weekly box, and knowing the proper way to store these will help ensure they are fresh when you are ready to cook. Some will wilt and brown very quickly, like basil and mint. This can be wrapped in a paper towel, placed in a bag in the fridge, and used within the week. If you feel you cannot use it within the week, pureeing and freezing is a great idea. For leafy herbs like dill or parsley, place them in a jar with a small amount of water in the bottom, and covering with a plastic bag will help make them last. Make sure to change out the water occasionally. Today, we are also going to be roasting and learning how to freeze peppers. This is a very easy way of preserving and keeping your peppers. So you always make sure that you wash your hands very well with soap, and you get in between your fingers. This way you don't transfer any germs over to the food, especially cold food that you're going to be eating. We are going to be roasting our bell peppers. These are red. It could be any other. And this is to show you how to preserve your peppers so they are ready to use and they stay a little longer. So I slice it. I take the end out. Obviously, you don't want to eat that. And we slice our pepper. And in this case, I don't throw away anything myself. Some people don't like the seeds, but I think the seeds are really cool, so I keep them. We'll slice this in halves. There's two ways you can do this. You can do it over the stove top, or you can bake them for a little bit. But for me, today I'm going to show you how to roast them. Or the skillet. Put your red pepper upside down, the inside facing down first. Lay them flat. For this time we're using a third of a cup. This time we're using a third of a cup. Remember, you always can adjust your recipes. But this process of preserving helps you have your basil go longer, and it's also ready to use whenever you want. Remember, it's all about maximizing your summer produce. And to keep the oxidation off so it doesn't go off, we are going to top it up with a little bit of oil on top. And that creates a seal. For our special dish today, we are going to make a bagel zucchini sandwich for your brunch. It's really easy. Some spices, some fresh veggies from your box or from your garden. So we have zucchini, we got tomatoes, onion, red pepper, some lettuce, cumin, paprika, turmeric, black pepper for your hot, and some bagels. We are using everything bagel, but you can use any bagel that you prefer or any kind of bread you like. For this one, we are going to use everything bagel because it tastes perfect with the zucchini. You can double this recipe if you have more people. And we want to make them thin so they can cook. These we are going to use the already roasted pepper previously. Again, you want to cut them in small rounds because it's going on a sandwich. Just some amount of oil because we want the zucchini and the onions not to stick, because we want the zucchini to soften. So we lay flat the zucchini. We are going to use a little bit of oil. We are cooking that right now, and we're going to put a little bit of oil in our second pan. And you can use butter. I prefer the plant-based butter for this, but for today we are going to use olive oil. Any olive oil. Today we are using just an original olive oil. This is everything bagel, so it has seeds, some spices in it, some herbs in it. So it's really good flavor that goes really well with this dish. And remember, you can use any bread you want, but this is my favorite and it's not that expensive. It's like $1.99. It's ready to turn. And you can see how nicely it's browning. We don't want it to burn, but we do want it to turn brown. At the same time, we want it to keep the shape. This is ready for the next step. So we don't want them to burn. We want them to keep their shape and texture. You can go soft if you like them soft, or you can go harder if you want. So we place our onions on top. This is hot paprika, so you just want a little bit. You don't want too much of that. And we have our turmeric. And we just sprinkle that on top. We got our cumin ground and ready to go. Sprinkle that on top. Let's get the heat back on here. And a pinch of salt. You don't have to have our bell pepper, and we're just going to use a little bit of that. Remember, this was already cooked ready to go. So it's really easy for us to pick it up and just add it on. Here is our final product, our bagel zucchini healthy brunch. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your dish. Bon appetit. Joining us today. We hope you learned something new today that will help you make the most of your produce box. What other ways do you store and save produce to help make it last? Share in the comments below.